Hello, this is chapter 3. It's dimensional analysis. I know that chapter 2 seemed a bit weird. There was virtually no math involved. We read labels and all of that kind of stuff. It is important that we know that because later chapters we're going to be pulling that kind of information off the labels to do math with. Chapter 3, we are back to math. And actually, this is probably the most important chapter in the entire course because pretty much everything else we do in this class is some form of dimensional analysis. Basically, what dimensional analysis is, it's what we call the process of changing from one unit of measurement to another. So it's just a process. We're going to be dealing with fractions, but really, if you can get this down, the rest of the class should be fairly easy for you. All right, so we start off and we are given some usual equivalents. Okay, these are the ones for common units of measurement. This is standard common units. Basically, in the United States, we're one of, I think there's just 2 countries in the world that still use this. But anyway, that's us, so let's learn it. Okay, so how do we do this? Let's look at this first example. Change 2.5 hours to an equivalent amount of time in minutes. Okay, so what do? I'm going to take 2.5 hours, and just for convenience sake, I'm going to write 2.5 as 2.5. We all know that's equivalent. 2.5 hours. When you're doing these, you always want to write out the unit, and there's a very specific reason why that you'll see in a second. I'm going to take this value, no matter what it is, and put it over a 1. Okay, now I'm going to multiply this by something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the relationship between hours and minutes, right? We know, this is not one they give us up here because they really expect us to know this. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. Okay, every time we make a conversion, we're going to go look for the relationship between, like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to put one of these over the other. And, it might be going either way. What we want to look for is if this is hours, I want hours to be in the bottom. I always want to, whatever one I'm trying to get rid of, I want them on the diagonal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 hour in the bottom and put 60 minutes in the top. Now, when we were talking about multiplying fractions, we said that either you can multiply straight across and then reduce, or you can reduce on the diagonals. The reason I say to write your units in is because you can think of these as canceling each other out. These hours cancel out these hours. Now, my only unit that's left is minutes. I would reduce wherever I can. These are 1s in the bottom now, so I don't have to worry about it. And then I multiply across the top. My new calculator came in, and I mentioned in chapter 1 that you really want to try to get a calculator with a square root on it. So it's just a basic calculator, but this one has a square root. The one I was able to find to use for chapter 1 did not. Okay, so I'm going to multiply 2.5 times 60, and I get 150. So this is equivalent to 150. I have minutes left, so this is minutes. And I'm done. That's the answer to this particular problem. Okay, so let's go into 3.2. Change 4.5 feet to an equivalent length measured in inches. Okay, so what I'm trying to change is 4.5 feet. And I'm going to put that over 1. And then I'm going to multiply by something. I'm going to go look for the relationship between feet and inches. You probably know this one, but there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Now remember, I'm going to be writing a fraction with these 2 things, and it can go either direction, but I know I want to, if I'm canceling out feet, I want feet in the bottom. So for 1 foot, there are 12 inches. Okay. Feet cancel out, so my answer is going to be in inches, which is what I want. And now those are ones in the bottom, so I don't have to worry about the denominator. If I multiply 4.5 times 12, that gives me 54. So this is equivalent to 54 inches. Don't forget to write down your units. If you don't have your unit, your answer is going to be wrong. It's very important as a nurse that you always keep your units around. Okay? All right, let's see if I'm able to turn the page. We will go on to, all right, here we go, 3.3. Okay. An infant weighs 6 pounds and 5 ounces. What is the weight of the infant in ounces? Okay, let's look here. We're looking for pounds and ounces. What's the relationship? There are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So I'm just going to go ahead and write this on this other sheet of paper so I have it. 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. The abbreviation for pound is LB, which looks like 1B, so I strongly recommend you don't use that when you're dealing with numbers. Okay? Okay, so let's think about what this is, what this means. I already have part of it in ounces, right? So basically, another way of writing this is 6 pounds plus 5 ounces, right? So what I'm going to do, since this is already in the correct form, I'm going to worry about changing 6 pounds to ounces, and then once I have that, I'll add this extra 5 ounces to it, okay? So 6 pounds over 1. Here's our relationship. I want to cancel out pounds, so 1 pound is going to go in the bottom. And then 16 ounces goes in the top. Now the pounds cancel out, and I have ones in the bottom again. You're not always going to have ones in the bottom. It just happens a lot, okay? So the pounds cancel out. My answer is going to be in ounces. So I multiply 6 times 16 to get 96. That's 96 ounces. So my answer is 6 pounds plus 5 ounces. That means I'm going to take this and write it right in here. That's 96 ounces plus 5 ounces. So that is 101 ounces. Okay, let's look at 3.4. This is one where they give us the exchange rate. They're giving us the relationship within the problem. Suppose that the currency exchange rate in Mexico is 0.075 US dollars for 1 Mexican peso. At this rate, how many Mexican pesos would be exchanged for 190 US dollars? So what we're being asked to do is to change dollars into pesos. So let's say we have $190. We put that over 1. Now my relationship is here and here. Those are equivalent. This amount of dollars and this is to 1 peso. I want to cancel out dollars, so I'm going to write this value in the bottom. And I'm going to put 1 peso on the top. Okay, now the dollars cancel out. And if we multiply straight across, we get 190 pesos. And I left off a 0, got it. And that's over 0.076. So now what I need to do is I need to divide 190 by 0.076, and that gives me 2,500. So this is equivalent to 2,500 pesos. Okay?